North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has admitted there are defects in the way his country has been dealing with COVID-19. There are now concerns the pandemic could wreak havoc on an already weakened economy. At the same time, a typhoon bearing down on the peninsula is set to make things worse. And for a closer look, we're joined by Dr. Sojin Lim, and she's co-director of the International Institute of Korean Studies at the University of Central Lancashire in the United Kingdom. Thank you very much, Dr. Lim, for joining us. So, Mr. Kim, now he spoke of shortcomings in efforts to keep out the coronavirus. Do we have any idea, any indication of what the situation is now like in North Korea?
The thing is that because of the COVID-19, most of the diplomats and experts in North Korea have been evacuated from North Korea. So we don't have the sources to report or share the information with us how in detail how much they have the influence. But the only source is that from the media from North Korea. But apparently it looks like they have had a very serious situation in North Korea because Kim Jong Un has emphasized this issue quite many times within this week.
Dr. Lim, the pandemic is putting the brakes on economic growth around the world. How is it affecting a closed economy like North Korea?
Yes, North Korea is not an exception at all from this situation, unfortunately. And on top of that, North Korea is under sanctions at the moment, which is really affecting civilians as well. For example, before 2017, the sanctions were about targeting institutions or commodities or individuals. But since 2017, it has been widened, and now civilians are one of those who are influenced by the sanctions, and they don't have access to basic facilities. And the COVID-19, of course, influenced North Korea without doubt, having access to medical systems, services, or other basic needs like food.
So North Korea is facing twin challenges because the next one is Typhoon Bavi. We know it's going to hit tomorrow. What sort of damage can it cause in North Korea, though?
This storm, typhoon, reminds me of what happened in North Korea in late 1990s. North Korea had a severe famine added up with the floods, and this typhoon will have the same or even worse level of influence. This is not the first typhoon North Korea is having. Right before, North Korea had another typhoon. So the situation would be really serious, especially in terms of the food shortage. North Korea doesn't have enough food in saving because now it had the lack of fertilizer, for example, due to the sanctions. So the food shortage will be the most serious problem. And also because of the road situation due to the floods from the typhoon, people will have less access to the hospitals or any other necessary required places. So this will be a huge effect.
And what will be the outcome then? As you mentioned, is going to be affecting North Korea's food security. Will they then need to rely on more aid, perhaps from China?
It is known that already China sent out food aid to North Korea, and some of the NGOs are looking for the lifting of sanctions for the targeted area, because at the moment, even humanitarian aid can't reach to North Korea, especially when it was under lockdown earlier this year. So I expect that North Korea doesn't have any other option but to seek for food aid from outside eventually.
All right, many thanks for your thoughts this evening. Dr. Sojin Kim from the University of Central Lancashire in the UK.